Okay, let's dive in. What if the traditional financial world, with all its rules, its huge institutions, could actually truly merge with the world of digital assets? That dynamic, sometimes kind of wild, innovative space.
It's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah,
We talk about bridges, but a really solid two-way bridge, it hasn't fully happened yet.
exactly. And that's why today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating.
Uh-huh.
A digital asset called AIEX. That's AIFEEX, the AFX token.
Right, and this isn't just, another crypto project popping up.
No, not at all. This is about a company with a really bold strategic plan. They're aiming to list on a major global stock exchange, the HKEX.
The Hong Kong Stock Exchange.
And what that could mean, well, potentially it could be fundamental for the future of finance.
It's a big swing.
So our mission today, let's unpack the strategy behind this. It feels quite brilliant, honestly. We want to explore the growth potential this could unlock for the AFX token itself.
And really get into AIFEX's vision, what makes them different.
Yeah, understand what sets them apart. Think of this as your shortcut to getting up to speed on what might be a really pivotal moment here.
Definitely.
So if you're trying to figure out how the big traditional finance players might finally connect with the digital world and, what that means for investing, for innovation.
Then you're absolutely in the right place for this deep dive.
All right, so this AIFEX plan, it hinges massively on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, the HKE. You said it's the cornerstone.
It absolutely is. And it's not just about finding a place to list shares. It's about the signal that choosing HKEX sends.
Okay, that signaling intent part. Let's break that down. Why HKEX specifically? What makes it so critical for their strategy compared to, say, other exchanges?
Okay, it boils down to two things, really. Prestige and rigor. HKEX isn't just some regional market. It's top tier, global.
Like up there with New York, London.
Exactly, on par with the biggest names. And what that means practically is the listing standards are incredibly high. Very
We're
demanding.
talking serious scrutiny.
Oh, immense scrutiny. Think about the companies already listed there, giants like Alibaba, Tencent. It's that league.
No.
So just the act of pursuing a listing there, going through that whole process, it says a lot. It speaks volumes about how serious the project is, how they view their own stability, and their long-term institutional ambitions.
That's a really powerful point about the credibility it automatically gives them. So for you listening, even before any trading starts, just aiming for HKX signals this huge level of institutional seriousness.
Yeah, and a commitment to playing by the established financial rules, which, let's be honest, is pretty rare in the digital asset world.
It's like getting a stamp of approval from the toughest examiners out there. But, okay, it's not just about looking credible, is it? There's a bigger strategic game here for AIFE.
Oh, definitely. Way bigger. The HKX goal isn't primarily about raising capital, although, sure, that's a nice side effect.
Right.
The core idea, the strategic genius, perhaps, is that this listing acts as an unlock. It's designed to open the door to a massive pool of institutional capital that's been largely sitting on the sidelines.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because we know a lot of big institutions, pension funds, endowments, they're often blocked by their own rules, their mandates.
Exactly. Regulatory barriers.
Right. They can't just go out and buy Bitcoin or, most digital assets directly. Their rules just don't allow it. So how does listing on HKEX actually get around that? What's the mechanism? How does it create that compliant pathway?
It's actually quite elegant. By becoming a publicly traded company on a highly reputable regulated exchange like HKEX, AAFEX essentially creates an investment vehicle that these institutions can legally invest in.
Ah, so they're not buying the crypto directly.
Correct. They're buying stock in a publicly listed company. It just so happens that this public company is deeply involved in the digital asset space, operates an AI-driven DeFi system, and has its own utility token, AFX.
Okay, I see. So the institutions invest in the company, which in turn fuels the ecosystem where the token lives.
Precisely. Suddenly, AIEX, the company, becomes accessible to these institutional giants. They get exposure to the digital asset space, but through a familiar, regulated structure buying shares.
That's clever.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's how they're building this crucial bridge. It connects the very regulated centralized finance world, the CeFi world, with all its trillions, to the innovative decentralized finance world, DeFi, built on the blockchain.
So it's not just any bridge. It's like a specifically engineered, regulation-compliant gateway that really reframes AIFEX. They're not just positioning themselves as another crypto company.
Not at all. They're aiming higher. They talk about becoming a future AI financial institution. That's the framing.
An AI financial institution.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that vision connect the HKEX stock and the AFX token? What's the role of AI and the token itself in this future institution?
Well, they're building it with a presence in both worlds, deliberately. You'll have the stock traded on HKEX, representing the traditional finance side. And then you have the AFX token operating within their own ecosystem on the blockchain, the digital asset side.
And the AI part.
The vision is to integrate artificial intelligence directly into that decentralized financial system. So imagine AI optimizing things like liquidity pools, managing risk automatically, maybe even facilitating more complex financial products within their DeFi setup.
Okay, so the AI is doing the heavy lifting within the DeFi system.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And the AFX token in that picture isn't just for speculation. It's designed as a utility token. It might grant access to certain features, be used for governance votes within the system, or maybe offer fee reductions. The exact uses will evolve, but the idea is real utility tied to this AI-powered financial system.
That makes sense. It ties the two sides together. The public company structure attracting capital, which fuels the development of this advanced AI DeFi system where the token has its purpose.
Exactly. It's a bold attempt to properly integrate these two, often separate financial worlds right down to the foundations.
It really does sound like a blueprint for something new. Okay, so let's talk potential outcomes. If this HKEX listing strategy moves forward, what could that mean for the price of the AFX token itself? Now, obviously, crystal balls don't exist in finance.
Uh-huh. No, they definitely don't. Past performance is no guarantee. All the usual caveats apply.
Right. But can we use any models or approaches to sort of project what this kind of powerful story, this narrative might lead to?
We can use something called the scenario projection approach. It's important to stress this is not a prediction. It's not saying the price will be X.
Okay, so what is it then?
It's a way to model potential future growth. We look at historical patterns of other successful digital assets that had really strong, compelling narratives driving them.
Narratives. What do you mean by that exactly? Like a marketing story?
It's more than just marketing. A narrative, in this context, is a powerful, easily understood story or a mainstream trend that captures widespread attention and, crucially, attracts significant investment into that particular asset. It creates momentum.
Got it. So, like a big idea that people really latch onto and invest behind, what are some examples of those powerful narratives from the past we could compare to?
Well, think about BNB, the Binance coin. Its narrative was tied directly to the explosive growth of the entire Binance ecosystem. Using the exchange, getting discounts that drove huge demand.
Right, the ecosystem narrative.
Or SOL Solana. It surged massively on the narrative of being a super fast, scalable blockchain, perfect for DeFi and NFTs when that was booming.
The high-speed blockchain narrative.
Exactly. And AVX Avalanche also rode the DeFi wave, positioning itself as another strong foundational layer for decentralized apps, the DeFi infrastructure narrative.
Okay, so different narratives, but all powerful enough to drive significant price appreciation.
Correct. So for AIFEX, we can take a hypothetical current price just for modeling, let's say around $17.44 as our starting point. Then we model scenarios based on AIFEX achieving growth trajectories similar to those earlier tokens, driven by its unique narrative.
Okay, interesting. So using that approach, looking at AIFEX with its potentially game-changing narrative of bridging CeFi and DeFi via HKEX, what kind of scenario projections emerge, say, over 1 year and maybe 3 years out?
All right, again, stressing these are models, not forecasts.
Yeah.
We can look at three broad cases.
Okay.
A low case. If AIFEX's growth path was somewhat similar to AIX's narrative arc, we might see a potential price around, say, $104 in 1 year, maybe $609 in 3 years.
Okay, low case.
Then a mid case. If it followed a path more like BNB's sustained ecosystem-driven growth, perhaps we'd be looking at something like $139 in 1 year and potentially $696 in 3 years.
$139 and $696. Got it.
And then the high case. If AIFEX really catches fire, if this narrative proves as powerful as, say, SOL's was during its peak, leveraging that first mover advantage, well, the model suggests it could potentially reach around $261 in 1 year and maybe even $2,088 in 3 years.
Wow. Okay, $261 and over $2,000. Those are definitely attention-grabbing numbers.
They are, and they offer a fascinating glimpse into the potential upside if the strategy executes well and the narrative resonates strongly.
But, and this is the crucial part, we always need to hammer home these are projections based on history, based on patterns. They are absolutely not guarantees.
Precisely. Cannot stress that enough. The future is unpredictable. Regulations could change, market sentiment shifts, execution challenges, anything can happen.
So treat these numbers as illustrative of potential, not as certainties.
Exactly. But what's almost more valuable than the specific numbers is understanding how we even get to these scenarios. Understanding the role of the narrative, the comparison points. That analytical process itself helps you develop a much more critical eye when you hear about any investment's potential.
That's a really good point. It's about understanding the why behind the numbers and thinking about AIFEX why, it's its core narrative. It does feel potentially even more significant than those previous examples.
I think it could be.
What really sets it apart? Why is it potentially pioneering? Beyond just saying CeFi meets DeFi, what's the new model they're actually trying to build here?
Well, I think the pioneering aspect is the tangible execution of it.
Hmm.
Lots of projects talk about bridging these worlds. AIFEX is attempting to do it in a very concrete, high-profile way through a listing on a top-tier, highly regulated stock exchange like HKEX. That hasn't really been done effectively before.
So it's the combination, the public company on a major exchange, existing simultaneously with its own native utility token, AFX, that functions within this AI-managed DeFi system on the blockchain.
Exactly that dual presence, that integration of institutional validation via the stock market with cutting-edge decentralized technology. That's the unique structure, the new model. It's ambitious.
And the very difficulty of it. You mentioned the intense scrutiny for HKEX listing. That difficulty itself almost becomes part of the narrative, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It acts as a filter. Successfully navigating that process requires immense transparency, robust finances, strong governance. Basically, it forces a level of reliability and strength that few pure crypto projects ever have to demonstrate.
So clearing that bar is a huge credibility booster in itself.
A massive one. If they pull this off, it could genuinely set a new benchmark. It could create a template for how other digital assets might seek integration into mainstream finance. We could see ripples across the whole industry.
It's moving beyond just a company story into a potential paradigm shift.
It could be a shift towards a financial ecosystem where the stability and scale of traditional finance can coexist and potentially synergize with the innovation and efficiency of decentralized tech, all validated by the highest standards.
So for you listening, the takeaway isn't just about tracking AIFEX's price or news. It's about understanding this potential blueprint.
Right. Recognizing this kind of pioneering approach helps you spot genuine innovation and maybe anticipate the next big evolution in finance.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does this all boil down to for you, the listener? AIFEX's strategic move towards HKEX is, well, it's a really powerful, very calculated play.
It's designed specifically to bridge traditional finance and digital assets in a way we haven't quite seen before.
Offering a unique growth narrative, something fundamentally different. It's this blend of institutional credibility from the listing, combined with the DeFi innovation powered by AI and the AFX token.
Which leads us to, I think, a really important question to leave you with.
Go for it.
If AIFEX actually succeeds in building this bridge, this compliant, unprecedented connection between the old financial world and the new digital one,
Yeah.
how might that fundamentally reshape the entire investment landscape?
Yeah, how could it accelerate financial innovation, maybe for everyone, in the years to come?
What new possibilities does that open up? How might it change how you think about your own financial future, your own strategies?
Those are big questions, definitely worth keeping in mind. Because this journey, this attempt to connect these two massive financial worlds, it feels like it's really just beginning.
And it's definitely one you'll want to keep a very close eye on.